introduce a dear sister, Reverend Alberta Wallace, soon to be Reverend Dr. Alberta Wallace. She has gone back to do her dissertation with the Congregational Church, I can't find it, Central Baptist Theological Seminary in Kansas City, where she is from. And she has many years of working behind her. Her dream is to work for the wider church. She's been involved with so many things, and for 4 years was a pastor over here at United Church of Christ, and is now a dual vocational. She has 2 vocations. She serves as a social worker for the last 7 years at YRMC. She's active with Yuma County Interfaith Immigrant Hospitality Program, PFLAG Yuma, and is also on the board of directors for Sunset Community Clinic. And her doctorate is her major goal right now. She is a widow, has no children, and no pets. And that's kind of rare. But when you like to travel and you've got nobody to leave them with, I know it's hard to have them. Alberta, welcome to our lectern, welcome to our home, welcome to our hearts. Thank you. Oh.
It's been wonderful to be a part of Unity. After I resigned my position at the Yuma United Church of Christ, part of my self-care is to be away from the church for at least a year. That's self-care for myself, and that's out of respect for the new pastor. So you all have provided me that hospitality and that warmth during the times that I come here to visit, and I am grateful. Thank you. Well, since this is our day to see how our technology is going to work, I'm going to test it out too, because we know this is going to go faster than what I'm going to go, but I still had to have this song that I wanted us to hear, since I couldn't have it on the screen because I couldn't figure out how to do it. So you just have to bear with me, because this is what I want to do. So let's see. Okay, it was too quiet, so then I can go to another one. You know? Well. Well, see, if it had showed up on the screen, then the words would have been there and everybody would be singing. But in the interim of that, so we just heard it, and we recognize that tune because we heard it thousands and thousands of times from the Kleenex commercial and for the TJ Maxx commercials. Now, haven't you? Okay, all right now. The British songwriter, singer, and record producer from West London, England, is Estelle. She belts out those lyrics, and that keep our heads bopping and our hands clapping because we can. Amen. The song I Do My Thing is used by many girls' empowerment groups to focus on their inner strength, to help them to be able to accept and be encouraged that they define themselves. We define ourselves. Defining ourselves is not a destination, but a journey. Journey to happiness is indeed serious business. One of my favorite authors is Sister Joan Chittister. She wrote this book called Happiness. She tells us that happiness is serious business and is not to be taken for granted. The pursuit of happiness is seen everywhere, in movies, commercials, and especially in faith communities. Now, Sister Joan, she shares this folk tale from the East, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, an angel appeared to a seeker, hard at work in the field of life, and said, I have been instructed by the gods to inform you that you will have 10,000 more lives. The wanderer, who had been pursuing the dream of eternal life for years, slumped to the ground in despair. Oh no, the seeker cried. 10,000 more lives? 10,000 more lives? And the seeker wailed and rolled in the dust. Then the angel moved on to another seeker, bent over in the heat of the day, and repeated the same message. I have been told to tell you, the angel said, that you will have 10,000 more lives. Really? The seeker exclaimed. 10,000 more lives? Then the seeker straightened up, arms flung toward heaven, head up, face beaming, and began to dance and praise and shout with joy. Only 10,000 more lives. The seeker cried ecstatically. Only 10,000 more lives. Now, some of us may hear this folktale and understand it to be talking about reincarnation. Others will hear it and understand it to be talking about the nature of life. It is the struggle for happiness or the thirst for life, intent on shaping it to our own ends. The poet of Psalm 139, verse 14, translated here by The Voice, has this attitude. I will offer you, God, my grateful heart, for I am your unique creation. Filled with wonder and awe, you have approached even the smallest details with excellence. Your works are wonderful. I carry this knowledge deep within my soul. I do my thing because I can. But how does this happen? How do we become you? How do we become real? One of my favorite books that I didn't get introduced to until I was an adult, The Velveteen Rabbit. Marjorie Williams wrote this book in 1922, and that's because the rabbit had the same questions, and he asked it of the skin horse. The skin horse had lived long in the nursery than any of the others. He was so old that his brown coat was bald in patches and showed the seams underneath, and most of the hairs in his tail had been pulled out to string bead necklaces. He was wise, for he had seen a long succession of mechanical toys arrive to boast and swagger, and by break their mainsprings and pass away. And he knew they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. For nursery magic is very strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are old and wise and experienced, like the skin horse, understand all about it. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle? Real isn't how you are made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Said the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. When you're real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, he asked, or bit by bit? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. A book first published in 1922 inspired a clinical social worker, Tony Raton Deontay, to write a book in 2004 titled The Velveteen Principles, a guide to becoming real, hidden wisdom from a children's classic. Listen to her story of how she came about to write this book. I began to formulate the Velveteen Principles in a most unlikely place. I was at my doctor's office for a routine checkup. I looked up from a glossy waiting room magazine, which was full of images, smiling, perfect-looking people, and noticed that it was hard to tell that any of the patients around me were sick, worried, or defective in any way. Well-dressed, smiling, we were all looking good, just like people in my magazine. Then the outside door swung open, and a wheelchair-bound woman in her mid-70s entered, pushed by a man of the same age, who was obviously her husband. After stopping at the receptionist station, they came into the waiting area. She was bright-eyed, but obviously quite ill. Her hands shook, and she breathed with the help of an oxygen tank. She wore no makeup. Red splotches and blue veins were visible through her pale, wrinkled skin, and her clothes were not the least bit feminine or fashionable. She was everything I had been taught to avoid, becoming weak, unhealthy, dependent, and unconcerned about the impression that you made on others. Her husband, a white-haired man dressed in khaki pants and a flannel shirt, was small, alert, and quite fit. He had pushed her wheelchair with relative ease and then knelt next to her. He pushed back the sleeve of his shirt, revealing a very old tattoo of a buxom young woman, maybe it was Betty Grable, and stroked his wife's hair. As he adjusted the plastic tubing for her oxygen supply, he spoke very softly in her ear. Whatever he said made her smile. As I peeked over my magazine, I became strangely jealous. Here she was, at the end of her life, physically debilitated and struggling, but she was not shy or embarrassed. Instead, she exuded a peaceful sense of certainty about who she was and her inherent value. It was clear that her husband adored her and cherished every moment they spent together. I considered his tattoo and thought of the time when he was young and probably quite obsessed with pretty women. And who knows, maybe his wife was once the girl who had fulfilled his fantasy. But in the moment I witnessed, what he loved was the true and essential person inside the body, the invisible beauty he may not have seen in younger years. And Tony says, even in a complex world, simple truths can change everything. Once upon a time, a velveteen rabbit learned that new isn't necessarily better, that the quiet wisdom of an old toy horse can change the world, that honest friendship and understanding can warm the heart, that a good book can make the world a better place, and that love can make us real. Love can make us real. We are God's unique creation, filled with wonder and awe. Carry that knowledge deep within your soul. Do your thing because you can. Happiness is being real. Now, of course, I can't get up here and talk about happiness without at least playing the happy song. So let's see if it plays. And everybody knows the happy song. So, and if you don't know the happy song, we're going to hear it today. Let's see. Let's see.
Technology.
Well. It's not going to play today. So, clap our hands like we happy. Thank you. It was wonderful to be with you today.
Are you going to lead us in a meditation?
I am going to lead you in the meditation from one of my other favorite books. And before that, I'm just going to share this wonderful card I got that says, "Be brave, be bold, be you." And our meditation today is from one of my favorite books by John Donahue that's entitled, "To Bless the Space Between Us." And the meditation today is entitled, "For Longing." If you would just close your eyes, listen to the words, allow the words to touch your heart and to refresh you. Blessed be the longing that brought you here and quickens your soul with wonder. May you have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs you when you have settled for something safe. May you have the wisdom to enter generously into your own unease to discover the new direction your longing wants you to take. May the forms of your belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of your soul. May the one you long for you. May your dreams gradually reveal the destination of your desire. May a secret providence guide your thought and nurture your feeling. May your mind inhabit your life with the sureness with which your body inhabits the world. May your heart never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage. May you come to accept your longing as divine urgency. May you know the urgency which with God longs for you. Let us just quietly meditate on that.
Lights on.